Hello, loves. Hello, hello. Hills here. How are we all doing? Wow. Did July ever come roaring in? We had multiple X flares, multiple M flares. The sun did not shy away from some fireworks as the United States was celebrating its 250th birthday, and we were approaching the Sirius-Sol Gateway event. Actually, as I'm recording this now, which is on the 6th of July, the sun, our soul star, is making its exact conjunction to the stars, that trinity of stars that make up the Sirius stellar dimension. It is not a binary system, it is a triad, A, B, and C. We experience this conjunction throughout the months of, in the Northern Hemisphere, summer. As we come into the month of June, we begin to feel the energies of this conjunction coming as the stars of Sirius come close enough to the sun that they seem to disappear from our night sky. As we come towards that Lion's Gate portal, that 8/8 in August, we begin to have in various locales around the planet the re-emergence of these stellar dimension. Okay, so part of what we're integrating in this month of July is that fullness of the conjunction, that movement of our soul star into union with the Trinity. Now, it's interesting. We're going to really dive in during this cosmic current update into the basket, the Barbault's basket, and all of the energies of July. But because we're moving first through this Sirius stellar dimension and that 7/7 portal, it felt important to talk about it, okay? You'll notice also that my background's a little different today. I had intended to record this update from the beautiful lands of the Yosemite Valley, which I spent this weekend at, but the timing was never quite divine, though at one moment I was called to take a video of the golden hour sunset over this fairy portal meadow. And as I was making my way back to San Francisco, I realized that this video was recorded so that we could enjoy it and bask in this meadow while playing with these energies. So, yes, that is what you see behind me. We often talk about the Sirius stellar dimension as being connected to Isis, as connected to Osiris, as connected to Horus. We often talk about the Sirius stellar dimension as connected to Christ consciousness. Now, for a long period of time, it was believed that, well, first it was believed, right, that Sirius was just a simple single star. Then, as our capacity, our ability to interact with it visually, materially, increased telescopically, we realized, oh no, this is a binary system. It is so bright because it's two stars. And then we can feel here the separation of the sexes. First one, all beings being one whole being, regenerative within self, self-propagating. Then the split occurs, and we have the masculine and the feminine in two separate bodies, Isis and Osiris, right? Sophia and Christos. Here we can feel those two stars, Sirius A and Sirius B. Isn't this fun? And now, much like through a regenerative process of Osiris that Isis helped to facilitate, and Anubis through shadow work, we began to realize that there is a third, that through this separation and a reunification, the divine child, Horus, the Christos, the Christ, the embodied light of soul, is able to emerge. And we collectively are starting to live in that era where we realize that Sirius is not a single star. Sirius is not even a binary star. Sirius is a representation of the Trinity. This is part of our elevation to fifth dimensional consciousness through the veils, through the wound of the separation. So as we come to the Aries Crone Moon 7/7 portal, we are being gifted an opportunity with that Crone Moon to come into a wiser expression, a more holistic expression of what I am actually means. As we move through the Sirius stellar dimensions conjunction with our soul star, we get to play with that energy and an offering to meditate upon what the Trinity means in relationship to I am within your heart, within your mind, within your creative centers, your power centers, and how working with the Trinity within yourself has a capacity to transform all of your relationships, personally, exteriorly, community, collectively. And here we come into the Barbault basket. I've been feeling this basket, and so many of us who work in the energies, who work in the cosmic current, who read the tea leaves, as it were, of the stellar circuits that we call astrological transits, have been really pushing how fucking monumental July is. You may even remember that back in December, when we were coming to the Cancer full moon, I couldn't stop saying Cancer new moon. And I was like, there's something really big going on right there. And sure enough, there is, right? July is jam-packed with powerful energies. And this Barbault's basket, now Barbault's basket is named for the French astrologer Barbault, André Barbault, who discovered it back in, I want to say like 1980s, maybe the early 1990s. And when he was looking forward through the charts and saw this configuration, he dubbed it the aspect, the astrological event of the century, and by which he meant the 2000s. Yes. In so many ways, yes, but we're calling it this. We're calling it the astrological event of the century, in a century that is also jam-packed. I mean, we have the eclipse of the century in 2027 on August 2nd. So there is a lot moving through. Now, let's look first at the main players, if you will, in this basket, and we'll start to weave through what we're being gifted here. So the first players are already taking their places. We have Pluto in Aquarius moving retrograde. We have Neptune in Aries moving retrograde. The next player to take its place will be Uranus in Gemini. When it takes its place, it will be moving forward. The second to take its place will be Jupiter in Leo. Now, Jupiter has already entered Leo, but has not yet come to the degree. The exact date that Jupiter tips into the degree to make this basket complete will be the 19th of July, which just happens to coincide with some other fun things that we will talk about. Each of the main players, the holders of this basket, will be at 4 degrees of their respective sign. Now, we were just talking about all this Trinity energy, right? We were talking about that trifecta of the Sirius stellar dimension. The quad, the 4 hertz, the ohm, is stability. It's coming into equalization. It's coming into balance. So as we move towards this balance point, this ballast point even, we first come through this trifecta, this soul conjunction with the 3 stars of Sirius, our star, the sun, making it 4, right? So we're playing already in that field of balancing. How do we balance the masculine and feminine aspects of ourselves? How do we come into union within ourselves? And from that union, birth the new, and then bring that new into a stable form. This is really what we're talking about. This is really what we're talking about here. So the 4 main players, the 4 sextiles here, Pluto at 4 degrees of Aquarius retrograde, Neptune at 4 degrees of Aries retrograde, Uranus at 4 degrees of Gemini moving direct, Jupiter at 4 degrees of Leo moving direct. This on the 19th of July becomes exact the same day that the trine between Pluto and Uranus, yes, it's a trine within that sextile there, and a trine between Neptune and Jupiter. As these trines occur, the moon, the waxing moon, the growing moon, will be at 4 degrees of Libra, making a air grand trine. Now it's important. I was going to say fundamental, but important to understand that the players of this basket, this cradle formation, are all in the air and fire signs. The air signs are our consciousness, our mental capacity. It is the places where we interact with the world, where we communicate, where we breathe, we receive, we take information in. It is not our emotional body. It is not even our physical body. It is the spirit, the consciousness. Fire signs are also spirit. They are fire, right? They are our passion. They are our creative furnace. They are the power center. It is our nervous system here that we're talking about. So activating, kind of like what the sun was doing as we came into July, and it is not done. There's going to be another big cycle as we move further into this month. We are churning. We are moving that light body, that electric firelight, and it lives forever, right? That aspect of our being, as well as the mental aspects of our being. This is all about our nervous system regulating our capacity to hold this light. Now, there's assists in this. As we move into this cradle, at each midpoint, so the the waters and the earths, there are players also. A little bit here. The player between Pluto and Neptune is Hecate, also moving retrograde. Hecate is crossroads energy. It's medicine. It's queen of the witches. But it is also elemental. Elemental. And Hecate is navigating in Pisces. Pisces, where the North Node is finishing its cycle. We just had that beautiful North Node Hecate conjunction. As Hecate continues to move in between, balancing the energies of Pluto and Neptune, underworld lifting of the veil, releasing us from the pain of shadow work, allowing us to feel the true nature of these journeys, perhaps even helping us to transmute the pain of that separation of the sexes, helping us to feel more wholly the road that most serves. As we allow also those roads that are not for us to fall away. Lifting the curtain, if you will, on indecision, helping us to discern as that torch is held aloft for us. In between Neptune and Uranus, in the earth sign Taurus, we have Medusa, empowerment. Whole embodied mystical rising, Kundalini activating. So we find Pluto bridged in an already gifted bridge with Neptune by Hecate, that feminine trifecta energy. And then we have the lifter of the veils, the dream weaver Neptune, in its sextile with the great awakener, Uranus in Gemini, being split, that gifted sextile, being split and assisted by Medusa. Medusa, she of full embodied vavavum, of creative power so fully expressed that it literally petrified. And coming into right relationship with that power that we, each and every one of us, are possessed of. The sign of Taurus, one of the keywords, the I phrase for the sign of Taurus is I possess. These are about your capacity. When we interact with Taurus, it is about your capacity to manifest, to call in that which is yours, and to release that which is not, and to move in harmonic resonance, to be wholly possessed within your will and divine will. Like Libra, Taurus is ruled by Venus. It is that feminine creative principle, which Kundalini or Shakti energy is made universal. So Medusa here, moving between, helping to assist our interaction between that dream weaving energy of a water planet, Neptune, in a fire sign, and the awakening energy of Uranus in Gemini. And one of the things that we can play with here, Uranus is air and air because Uranus rules Aquarius. So what we're playing with Uranus in Gemini is a space of comfort for Uranus in some ways. But Medusa coming in this earth sign is helping us to ground some of the more expansive energies, not just in this basket, but of this beginning of Uranus's transit through Gemini. The lofty ideals helping us to bring them in so that they don't just get lost in the ethers. And so that we're not working outside of highest good for all sentience, for the collective, the beautiful, amazing grassroots collective energy of Aquarius, where Pluto is playing, can have a shadow aspect that is very disembodied. And it feels like Medusa is here bridging Neptune and Uranus, and in a square to Pluto to help us embody this transit, to help us ground it, to make sure we don't get too lost in the current. Then, between Uranus and Jupiter in Leo, fiery, creative energy, expanded, we have the Morgana, the queen of the Fae, a very trickstery sort of energy Morgana is. And here we can see, we can feel, we can understand that Morgana is trine to Hecate. Here we can see, we can feel that Jupiter in Leo is trine to Neptune. And we can start to feel how part of the energy of this basket, of this cradle, of this turning point, this astrological event of the century, is helping us to navigate the elemental displays, helping us to feel the interconnection, the interweavings. We're like a basket. Everything's woven together. Nothing works in isolation. Here we are remembering that it's about the collective. We are moving through, we could say, the Kali Yuga phase of humanity's individualization, a very important, now we're going to say, fundamental aspect of this earthly experience, that individualization. Part of what we're turning, the wheel, that wheel of fortune, which is part of this 2026 year. Part of the turning of that wheel is gathering all that I am and then bringing it into relationship, bringing it into the collective, bringing it into the collective in service to the collective. It is not, I am, let me hoard all this because I need it. It is, I am possessed of this, Aries and Taurus. How might I express, Gemini, and share this? Here we can feel Cancer, that home and hearth sign. So here we find Pluto moving through Aquarius, Neptune moving through Aries, Uranus moving through Gemini, Jupiter in Leo. This basket, this configuration of the basket, will be active from the 19th through the 22nd. We also have another split. The end of this basket has a trine between Medusa and Venus. Venus will be in Virgo. So really helping us to move this energy, to allure that which is for us, to come into magnetic resonance. And Venus in Virgo is playing with Medusa. Medusa in the sign Taurus, ruled by Venus. Kelly Hunter, that wonderful, beautiful soul that is the astrologer Kelly Hunter, who has brought us so much wisdom with regard to the asteroids and the centaurs and on, also noted that Humaya, that beautiful energy of regeneration, which moves very slowly, will also be at 2 degrees of Scorpio, acting almost like a handle to this basket, helping us to feel once again the regenerative nature of all of this. Now, Humaya at 2 degrees of Scorpio is also exactly conjunct the Shapley supercluster, and we have talked a lot about Shapley as that all-seeing eye, that receiver of information, powerful energy for clearing the decks. The day that this basket begins to release as Jupiter moves into 5 degrees, so still very much active, but not 4, 4, 4, 4. Not 4 fours. Mercury will station direct on the 23rd. Then, and I made some notes, so I'm going to flip my page here. Then, the hits just keep coming because on the 24th, Hygeia in Leo slides into Jupiter's place. Hygeia is awakening, white light energy. It is if you think Uranus is fast acting, awakening energy, Hygeia has some tricks up her sleeve to show you. It is the energy of Reiki. It is healing capacities. So Jupiter shifts out into the 5th degree of Leo, and Hygeia, as Mercury turns back forward again in Cancer, slides into place to help us heal any electromagnetic discombobulations and tomfooleries that Mercury's retrograde has kicked up as we went through that massive air and fire dance. Hygeia slides in and will be there from the 24th on and on and on. And on the 27th, as the true nodes shift signs, yes, the true nodes will shift signs from Virgo and Pisces into the 29 degree of Aquarius and Leo. So the true south node entering the sign of the Lion. The sun will join Hygeia. So this basket is not simply, that's funny, right? It is not simply Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Jupiter with their assists. But as those first three in this configuration hold their positions, Jupiter slides out, Hygeia slides in, the sun slides in, the true south node slides into Leo, the 29th degree, so from this end. Then the sun shifts out. Well, Hygeia holds the position for another beat or two as on the 29th with a Aquarius full moon, the sun meets in conjunction with Jupiter. So the entirety of this basket flows through the 19th. And then as Jupiter shifts out, we find Hygeia, we find the sun, and then we find the Jupiter-Sun conjunction with Hygeia right there on the side at 5 degrees now. During the Aquarius full moon, so we'll have the moon working with Pluto. And this basket weaves us through this current, continuing on. Let me feel for a moment. As we moved through the Capricorn full moon, the indications, the prescriptions, the invitations were to feel how you were called to fill this basket, to feel the fundamental, foundational things that were called to be placed into this cornucopia by you, your soul, what your soul is here to do. The other day, I was having a conversation with a friend about a friend of ours who loves DJing and playing records. Like once he gets on the turntables, you can't get him off the turntables. And he was able to turn that into a place where it became his job with his partner who loves to create, who's a mixologist. They created an environment where they're collectively community orientatedly serving people through the things that they love, through music. And I heard these words move through me and out my mouth. Isn't that where the real magic is? When you can make the thing that you love the thing that you do. And so much of this month of July and all of these energies are helping, are inviting us to really feel, what is it that lights me up? What is it that I truly love? What is it that my soul is here to do? And as the true node, the true south node moves into Leo, and the true north node also moves into Aquarius, into those points of creative exploration, bold-hearted and courageous. You're invited to feel in that south node how your soul creates, what your soul is here to create, and to gather from all of your existence that which you're here to share collectively in a community-orientated way with that North Node in Aquarius. What does it mean to you to let the thing you love become the thing you do? Can you release old dogmatic ideas of, well, the thing I love is over here, but I can't make money at it. So I'm going to do this thing as the thing I do to make money and let the thing that I love be a hobby that maybe I have time for. Maybe I give some of my energy to. And find a way to bridge that gap. Kind of like all these sextiles are bridging trines and oppositions, and in between each of these sextiles, there's another assist. And as you find those ways to bridge the gap, find the ways to create the foundation so that what you love and what you do can rise up to meet each other, to let go of old ideas of, well, I can only give this much of myself to that which I love because I have this responsibility and that responsibility, and oh, the weight of the world is on me. It's hard. It's hard. You're seeing in how hard it is. The world is not currently structured in a way to allow this. Part of what we're doing is restructuring it. This is Aquarius in Pluto. This is Aquarius in North Node. This is the next couple of years of our embodied journey here on this planet. The full transit, the nodes will be fully in, with the mean node joining the true as we come to the mid of August, just before the sun enters Virgo. So we have some time to play, just like we're being given all these assists with Hygeia and the sun moving in to the place of Jupiter. We're giving ourselves some time. We have the aspect of the century astrologically, almost exactly a year before we have the eclipse of the century. All of this is building, building, building. In the last update for the Capricorn full moon, I shared a story about some of my personal journey. And one of the things that was shared within that is that sometimes with these big shifting points, these reorientation points, in the moment of it, it's not quite as visible. Look at the signs that all of these energies are happening in. And we're talking about the mutable signs. We're talking about the fixed signs, right? We're talking about Aquarius. Well, Aries is cardinal, so there's initiation, but it's initiation in curtain opening. We have Gemini, we have Leo. Most of this energy is moving in those subtler realms. The first pulling back of the curtain is our movement forward. But it's retrograde. It's still ticking internally. Still ticking internally. So, just like with an eclipse or with any other expansive event, sometimes it's not until you look back upon it that you realize how transformative it was. Ooh, we went a lot of places today. And speaking of going a lot of places, I am about to leave on the 7/7 portal. I'm flying to Arizona to pick up my niece and go on a initiation journey, a road trip around the United States. I might be a little quieter during that time period. I'm loving that we're going to be on this journey almost throughout the entirety of this basket. It's so amazing. Part of it, the reason I'm sharing it is because we're moving energies. And much like this journey I'm about to embark on with my niece, we will have many experiences. Some of them will feel the transformation as it's occurring, but most of them won't be until, you know, a month later when she starts her senior year of high school and is telling the story of this trip that she took with her auntie, or looking back and we're reminiscing about it in the months and years to come, where we see and feel how our relationship changed, how our relationship to the rest of our families changed, to this country that we were both born in. One of the places that we're going is actually the town in northern Wisconsin that I was born in, that my paternal grandfather's line helped to found back in the late 1800s. So there is a lot on offer, right? Like, I'm living this in a very physical, tangible way with this journey with my niece. Each and every one of us is in that same soup, though. We're all navigating that same cosmic current. On the other side of it, we can look back and see the rapids that we navigated. We can feel, but when you're in the moment of it, you just need to paddle. You need to experience it in that now. So that is the true invitation. How can you experience it in the now and let all that is possible to move, to be created, to be experienced with that intention, that simple intention of, may this be in the highest good of all sentience. May this be an expression of love. May we elevate within the all. Ah, yes, we went some places. Oh, the places we'll go. Oh, the places we'll go. I hope that this invitations that came through and this exploration of this cornucopia, of this Barbault's basket, of this cradle has aha'd within you. And may your journey through this transformational and beautiful month of powerful activation be all that it can be for you. Shared, my friends, as always, in the always, with so much and many loves from the dimensions of the all and beyond the beyond. And please do leave a comment. Let me know how you're traveling through this month. Like and subscribe. All the things. All the things, my friends. Thank you.